Hey, Megan Scully, and this is the Liverpool Show. And joining me now, it is Misha Dunbar. How are you getting on?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, very good. How are you?
I'm so good. We're delighted to have you here, of course. Lime Tree Theatre being the venue, and you're part of a very special production. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I remember the Cavalcaders that's being brought around Ireland by Druid Theatre Company by Billy Roach, and I'm playing Rory in the production, and it was written back in well, it was commissioned actually originally in 1990 in the early 1990s by Gary Hines, who is now the Druid artistic director, of course, and so Gary originally commissioned Billy to write it, and it went on in the Abbey in 1993. And so yeah, Druid have we've kind of remounted it, and Aaron Monaghan, one of the Druid ensemble members, is directing, and the company has been led by another Druid ensemble member, Garrett Lombard. So yeah, so it's been going great. Yeah,
Quite an iconic theatre company as well, isn't
absolutely.
it?
Yeah, yeah. Their work has just spanned globally, and it's fantastic, and it's a pleasure to get to work with everyone up here. Everyone from top to bottom has been absolutely fantastic and very welcoming. Yeah, it's been great.
And how have rehearsals been going?
Rehearsals are going went well. Yeah, so we rehearsed in Dublin, and then we moved across to Galway, and we opened in Galway a week and a half ago. So we're kind of getting up and running here now at the moment. So it's been really really good, and the audience response has been great. So yeah, no, it's going really really well, and it's been great fun. Quite apart from anything else, and it's just great. I suppose no more than anything else. But after the couple of years that everyone has had, and you know, for actors, but for everyone involved in the arts, it's been quite difficult, and for everyone else. But what's been lovely is kind of talking to people afterwards, and quite apart from people being very positive and having really enjoyed the show, but talking to a couple of people who have said it was their first trip back to the theatre since COVID and stuff, which has been lovely as well, and that people are really, really enjoying that, and that this is the production that they've chosen to see, which is very special for all of us.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think everyone has just been missing getting out and about. I think the really nice thing about this time around is, the way we all remember our first gig and we all remember our first show and, our first match that we went to.
Yeah.
But now I think we have that again. So it's like we remember our first gig and theatre and everything since lockdowns have lifted. So I think it's really special for everyone because people are having that lasting memory now.
Absolutely. And it's funny. I remember first, I've been to see a good lot of stuff since the world has kind of reopened, but a lot at limited capacity. But I remember the first time I sat in a full auditorium was at a Druid show, that when they did the three short O'Casey plays, and I sat in the Opera House in Wexford, and it was a full house, and it was raucous because people were just almost like caged animals. They couldn't wait to get back out, and it was a great piece, and it was very funny, and it was the perfect kind of antidote, I suppose, for people just before Christmas, and but it was really really special. But having full houses again, just talking to people afterwards, and that they kind of feel that they've some semblance of normality coming back, which is lovely.
I love as well when I read the synopsis about this show that it's pre-Celtic Tiger in this small town, and I was like, we've kind of experienced that again though, with the way things are going and the way the cost of living is going up. It feels kind of like we're going back into a second Celtic Tiger. So I feel this is going to be very, even though the Celtic Tiger was a certain amount of years ago, I feel like this is going to be very relevant again today.
Absolutely. And I suppose, Megan, what's interesting, we chatted a lot about this during the rehearsal process and stuff, and you kind of talk about, oh, so much has changed since the play premiered, or since it was written, or because it spans the kind of the late 80s into the early 90s, and a lot has changed, definitely 100%. But in so many respects, a lot doesn't change in rural Ireland. So the play is set in Wexford town, and it kind of centres on a cobbler shop run by Terry, and Terry, along with Rory, Josie, and Ted, they're cobblers by day, and then they're members of the Cavalcaders by night, which is a barbershop quartet. So throughout the piece, then there's kind of there's live music and singing, and quite a part, and yeah, bringing it back, I'm from small town Ireland. I'm from Enniscorthy, County Wexford, so I know the world of the play quite well. But yeah, so much doesn't change as well. Do you know the kind of way, you know? Yeah, but it's been fantastic, and yeah, and I think people have kind of mentioned that, you know, like that, you know, with COVID, I think our world's kind of certainly shrunk quite a bit. But yeah, so I think that'll be touching people a bit as well, you know, maybe. Yeah.
No, it does. It sounds absolutely incredible. I just want to remind people of the dates. It's going to be the Lime Tree Theatre, 15th, 16th of June. Tickets available from limetree.ie. But Nisha, before I let you go, how did you get into acting yourself? I think there's a bit of a family run connection there.
There is, yeah. So my parents would have been very involved in amateur drama at home in Enniscorthy, and so they acted in various productions, but they became quite connected to Billy's work, especially when Billy's work like smashed in London and stuff like that with the Wexford trilogy, and then with the Cavalcaders being a huge success. That it was a lovely thing to see Wexfordness being represented on stage. Do you know what I mean? So they all felt a huge connection to Billy's work, and subsequently, in the years then that came, they ended up doing a lot of Billy's plays, and my dad played Josie in a production of the Cavalcaders, and so my parents would know Billy quite well. You know, they'd be quite friendly, and so yeah, and so then for me, then I was kind of involved in that all the way up, and I played a lot of sport, and then the two didn't mix brilliantly, but yeah. Just there wasn't enough hours in the day, but when I went to UCD, then I got back into the stage, and I ultimately then went on and trained in the Lyre for 3 years.
Amazing.
So yeah,
wow.
Which was fantastic, you know. Yeah, it was brilliant, just brilliant, and sure, it's a pleasure to be here now working with Druid, you know. Absolutely
super. And I know this is your debut performance with Druid, or your first of many, I'd say now. But Nisha Dunbar, it's an absolute pleasure chatting to you in the Limerick Post Show. I should remind everyone the show is on the 15th and 16th of June, limetreetheatre.ie for tickets, not to be missed. It sounds like it's just going to be a lot of fun as well. And I think anything to kind of give people a bit of a lift.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Megan. Thank you.